The era of abusing our nation's immigration system is over. Since you love your home country so much, why don't you contribute there? Congress expects aliens paroled in here and other non-immigrants who've been invited here to depart, to require aliens to go back home since you love your home country so much.
$100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers.
Welcome to American News Network. We have a great one here today from Robert. This lawyer is fantastic. He breaks down an analysis of the situation almost better than anybody that I see on the internet. So listen to what Robert has to say about this immigration situation. And here's the other thing. He's actually kind of a funny attorney. When you hear him, he actually has some personality. He's not dry like a red wine, but he actually has this great floral presentation ability that I think is bar none better than most anybody that does this kind of breakdown. So tell me what you think about this. And the other thing is, I'm all for this H-1B visa thing going away. Americans can work. There's enough Americans and enough jobs out there for us Americans that we don't need any help. We don't need this H-1B visa bull. Get it out. I am completely against it.
Home and apply for permanent visas back through the State Departments. This policy allows our immigration system to function as the law intended instead of incentivizing the loopholes. The era of abusing our nation's immigration system is over. Temporary visas are temporary.
Screening for applicants seeking H-1B work visa.
Since you love your home country so much, why don't you contribute there? The green card loophole now closed. We have the Trump administration creating reverberations and fury and outrage by many of the foreigners who use this loophole after this announcement was posted on X. Adjustment of status is a matter of grace. The lower courts also describe it as well, calling it an extraordinary act. Courts repeatedly describe this as extraordinary relief, not automatic. Since you love your home country so much, why don't you contribute there? The era of abusing our nation's immigration system is over. Temporary visas are temporary. We have the Trump administration creating reverberations and fury and outrage by many of the foreigners who use this loophole after this announcement was posted on X, saying the USCIS is applying long-standing law and prior court decisions to require certain aliens with temporary visas who decide they want to be permanent residents here to go back home and apply for permanent visas back through the State Departments. You have to afuera out of here, return back to your home country, make the application there, and you can come back. And there's been a meltdown. Almost every single Democrat, Ruben Gallego and the rest of them, all on X saying this is outrageous, this is egregious. Everyone should be allowed to stay here and do whatever they want in our country while they stand around and wave foreign flags. And when you ask them questions, as you see in YouTube videos all over the place, do you like Texas or do you like India? They all say, India, because it's their homeland. Now, we're returning to the original intent of the law to ensure aliens navigate our nation's immigration system properly. And they released a whole memo about this, and Zach Kalar is explaining how it works. We're returning to the original intent of the law to ensure aliens navigate our system properly. From now on, an alien is in the U.S. temporarily who is here and wants a green card needs to go back home, except in extraordinary circumstances. This policy allows our immigration system to function as the law intended instead of incentivizing the loopholes. When aliens apply from their home country, it reduces the need to find and remove those who decide to slip into the shadows and remain in the U.S. illegally after being denied residency. Thank you, Zach Kalar, for the update. Now, here's another one from Homeland Security DHS. They said, an alien who is in the U.S. temporarily and wants a green card must return to their home country to apply. The policy allows this to function as necessary, and the era of abusing our nation's immigration system is over. Now, we saw that Jim Banks said this is the whole point. Temporary visas are temporary. The immigration system shouldn't incentivize international students and guest workers to come and stay in the country illegally, indefinitely, under a guise of legality. The immigration system is now implementing a common sense rule. If you come to the US and you want to stay permanently, go back home and apply from there. And they're melting down. You can just scroll through X, Ted Lieu and the rest of them all saying, how dare you? And many very grateful foreigners are flipping out about it because they're not all that grateful at all. Many of them are posting, you know how important I am to you? You know how much I contributed to you? You know, I came over here on a visa, a student visa, now I've contributed to AI systems and I've done this and I've done that and all these other things. That's great. You can go do that back home as well. And
that's right, you can go back home. Jobs for Americans from America. That's all we need. We have thousands of schools, thousands of colleges, thousands of universities that produce qualified people every single year. Let's get these people to work. Let's get this fraud cut back.
Since you love your home country so much, why don't you contribute there? They're saying this is gonna wreck America and the best and the brightest won't be here anymore and won't come here anymore. We have many best and brightest right here that we can develop. And so the ingrates, of course, are furious that they can no longer continue to exploit the system. Now, here's the full press brief. They dropped this yesterday. They said, we now have a new policy memo, we'll take a look at it, that is consistent with longstanding law. Aliens seeking adjustment of status must do so through consular processing via the State Department. Officials are directed to consider all relevant factors and information on a case-by-case basis when determining whether an alien warrants this extraordinary form of release. Saying non-immigrants like students, temporary workers, or people on tourist visas, they come to the US for a short time and a specific purpose. Our system is designed for them to leave when their visit is over. Their visit should not function as the first step of the green card process. Following the law allows the majority of these cases to be handled by the State Department and U.S. offices abroad and frees up limited resources to focus on processing other cases that fall under this purview, including visas for victims of violent crime and human trafficking, like Kilmar was involved in, naturalization applications and other priorities. The law was written this way for a reason, and now it will be enforced. And here are the details on this thing. Now, Congress laid out a detailed statutory scheme governing and limiting adjustment of status for aliens here and has committed the administration of this to DHS as well. Most aliens seek adjustment under this section of the law, which states that their status may be adjusted by the secretary in his discretion if they are present in the United States after having been inspected or paroled. And so as a result, aliens physically here who have not been expected and either admitted or paroled are generally ineligible to adjust their status. Congress set it up. They made it clear that they are expected to depart from the United States when the purpose of their admission or parole has been accomplished. And generally, when a non-immigrant or a parolee fails to leave as required, it contravenes what Congress says. Congress expects aliens paroled in here and other non-immigrants who've been invited here to depart, rather than to change their status from temporary to permanent. These aliens are expected to pursue an immigrant visa and admission from outside the United States. Officers are reminded that they are to consider all relevant factors, including the totality of the circumstances. For example, existing guidance directs officers to consider violations of our immigration laws or the conditions of the status, current and previous instances of fraud or false testimony in dealing with us, whether an alien's application violated laws, regulations, or other policies, and any other conduct of the alien after admission into the country. An alien's failure to comply with the conditions of their admission or parole, or an alien's failure to depart, are highly relevant. So if they don't leave and they apply, we're going to hold that against you because the law says you have to leave. This is particularly true when the failure is connected to their intention to reside permanently, and the alien could have achieved that goal through a normal immigrant process. And so we remind our officers that applying for adjustment of status is not inconsistent with simultaneously maintaining non-immigrant status in a category with dual intent. However, dual intent non-immigration is not sufficient on its own to warrant a favorable exercise of discretion. So you're here as a student, you're here as a temporary worker, and you have another intent to also be here permanently. You might have both of those intents simultaneously, to be a student and to be permanent, but having those intents combined does not make it automatically allowing you to be here. So when you're going through this analysis, weigh all positive and negative factors, including family ties, immigration status, history, moral character, any other relevant factor that bears on determining whether an alien warrants favorable exercise of our very gracious discretion. And we remind officers when you're processing these people that when you deny a benefit request, issue a denial notice. When the denial is based on unfavorable exercise of discretion, include an analysis of the positive and negative factors, along with an explanation of why the negative factors outweigh the positive factors. We will carefully review the various pathways to adjustment of status, as well as discrete populations that are consistent with extraordinary discretion and matters of administrative grace. And those are the rules. And so you can see why they're so furious about this, because they want the easy path. They want the fast pass to permanent residency, so you can never say go home again. And this is removing that. Oh, you do something good. Oh, you're here and you have very clear, under the totality of the circumstances, many more positives than negatives. Thank you for engaging with the system, but it's no longer automatic green card just because you've been here for so long. Temporary means temporary. And since you love your home country so much, and since you're so valuable to America, you can go home and for a little bit be valuable to your home country.